Hello, this is Jensen with Soft Edges, and this is your Libra new moon reading for October 21st, 2025. I already pulled the cards, and oh, is this energy potent. But first I want to start by pulling out just the chart of this new moon. Oops, let me just move this. There. All right, so here is the chart for the new moon. How am I going to do this? So we have the Libra new moon happening at 8:25 a.m. This is Eastern time. And this is the chart in Placidus. And I just want to mention a couple of things that I was really being called to notice as we enter this new moon. So in this chart of where it's happening, this is Eastern time. We have a Scorpio rising chart. And that's where the Mars and Mercury are currently together in the sky. It's trining Jupiter, it's trining Saturn and Neptune. And this is a positive interaction that I think is really powerful, especially given this action-oriented quality of Mars and Mercury together in Scorpio. So the cards talk a lot more about this. I just want to talk about this really powerful drive towards action, and the chart is or the energy of this time is a powerful time to release and transmute grief. Whoo! Like, ouch. But like, what more do we expect with a Mars rising chart, especially with Mercury? Like, it's time to move through something. On top of this beautiful trine we have here, we have the square between the new moon happening in the 12th house in Libra. It's squaring Jupiter, opposing Pluto, and also squaring Pluto. So this is an unearthing. This honestly feels quite occult to me. Like there is a teaching, a learning, an expansion that's required for us to get into the depths of what's here, right? Like if this is the apex of this tense triangle, all of this energy, especially Jupiter, especially Pluto, these two powerful planets, focusing their energy in this hidden house where the sun and the moon are. This calls for, again, this occult teaching, this new way of working with grief. I also want to mention, because it'll come up in the cards too, that this new moon is also opposing Chiron. And here we have the wounded healer who is really showing us, and especially with this Grand Cross, it is showing us where this wound, this tension, this trauma that we're carrying, how it has just been causing so much pain in our sixth house day-to-day life, but it's hidden, right? It's causing issues in our emotional health. So again, this is the chart for that new moon, and I'm going to zoom back out and let's get into the cards. Okay, here we have the cards. I want this here. There. Whew, gorgeous cards that we're working with for this energy. The overall theme I'm getting for this new moon is this is a powerful time to release and transmute grief. What are you grieving? That's probably something you're either sitting with or going to need to sit with over this next moon cycle. So something else that I feel like we're moving through right now is the energy is really giving us the motivation to move towards and then through this grief, especially with the new moon opposing Chiron. First, we have the cosmic carrot. And again, here is the frequency of the occult teaching that I feel like is coming forward to us at this time. This feels like a cosmic bait. Like the carrot is something we're moving towards. And it's like in the higher realms. And it's like tempting us, pulling us forward. Again, it's this motivation for us to keep moving towards this higher way of being. A loud message that came through is to go higher. I'm also so drawn to, again, the action-orientedness of the chart, and with the Knight of Wands and the hot seat. Just a lot of orange and yellow and red energy, which is our lower chakras, like how we feel at home on earth. It's where we hold trauma. It's where we hold our grief. This cosmic carrot also talks about, because this is kind of an occult transmission or like a mythical teaching that wants to come through, because the reality is I would like to think that most of us want to feel liberated from our traumas and our wounds in order for us to be able to live more meaningful and purposeful lives. The invitation here is to tend to the self. Like, as you're going towards this carrot, you're going to need to sustain this energy. To do so, you're going to have to enact some self-care practices. Ones that are invited here are breath work. Because this is a Libra chart, and Libra is ruled by swords, it is an air sign. There is a big emphasis on working with breath work this over this moon cycle. Additionally, there's an invitation to perhaps use some like light, gentle movement. I'm thinking Tai Chi, I'm thinking Qigong, yoga, some meditation. Next, we have the grief card, and it came out in the reverse. So I really knew as I was pulling cards out that this grief in the reverse is telling us it's time to let things go. This grief card kind of fed the rest of the reading, where I asked, how do we move through this grief? Because I know it's time. And I was really drawn to the symbols on the grief card. See if I can grab it. In this card, we have a raindrop, we have the lungs, we have Chiron. There's that Chiron again. The prescription or the medicine with this card is pink, which we got. I feel like this is such a beautiful message of the alignment that's occurring for us to move through this deep, deep wound. Where I live in the Northeast, we've been in a drought for a very long time. And this talks about this rain in reverse. And as I'm recording this, it has been pouring buckets all day long. And this really makes me think of the way that the rain allows us, the rain is a cycle, it works through a cycle. And that talks a lot about the cycle of moving through an emotion. And that sometimes tears are part of moving through this cycle. Again, we have another invitation to something like breath work, right? To work with the lungs. Beautiful enough, we get the prescription for that card, like how to tend to that, and we've got pink. And this pink talks about womb. It talks about mother energy. This makes me think of the wounding could be carried through matriarchal lineage. It could be from your mother. It could be from a mother figure. And there's a strong invitation here to how could you mother yourself? How do you go into a meditation, which is part of the medicine for this month? How do you go into meditation, find your inner child, and tend to that being as if you had always been tended, as if you were the mother you always needed? This pink card's actually ruled by Libra, and it talks about beauty and healing trauma and seeking balance and peace and love and justice. Again, an invitation to get in touch with your inner child. Hold your inner child with a loving embrace. Be gentle with yourself through this moon cycle as this, as you perhaps could be triggered, and that's why you're having to take action on this finally, is a triggering moment happens. And how can you be really gentle with yourself as you process this? Next, we have the Knight of Wands, and here comes this, like, the savior we always needed, and surprise, surprise, it's you. You are the savior you've always needed. It is action time. Again, this is the Mars and Mercury together leading the chart. This is rapid change. This is things happening really quickly. This is the work that it's been a long time coming. I'm honestly so excited. I'm like trying to talk slowly, but I'm so excited when I look at this card and I think about the ways that we're about to feel empowered to move through this trauma finally. I get a sense that we won't move through it immediately, but that have the stamina and the strength and the enthusiasm, and we're headstrong enough to be able to move through this trauma at this time. Like you have the endurance to move through this journey. And added to that, we have this hot seat card. Woo! This cosmic hot seat. The solar flares and the flares in this, I'm not really in touch with solar flares and like the Schumann resonance and stuff like that, but I really get a sense that it is going to be very activated this month. And what I do understand is the more solar flares there are, the more action there is here on Earth, which really brings me to this transformation card. You're the only one that can do this work, but you're not meant to do this alone. Here's Uranus talking about the liberation I was talking about, that we are wanting to feel liberated from these wounds, these patterns that we've been engaging with and seeing through the lens of for our entire lives. I said in the week ahead reading, the winds of change are here, and here we have the wind. The winds of change are indeed here. Remember that even though change is afoot, it can be uncomfortable. And with the knee, there's a strong emphasis on feeling supported. Because if you're carrying stress, if you're carrying grief, if you're carrying this trauma in your knees, it can feel really hard to move forward. Again, big invitation to work through breath work or go into meditation and support yourself in that way. Go to your knees, support your knees. This also talks a lot about, this is a great time to work through addiction, to sort out outdated patterns. The goal here is the liberation of the limiting beliefs, the limiting patterns that have been holding us back in our lives up until now. Again, earlier we talked about going higher. Like you have to go higher in order for you to be in an empowered way of being. Go higher to meet this energy. There's so much ready to unfold for us at this time. The final thing I'll say is through this transformation in the knee, there is a strong invitation to be flexible right now. Be gentle with yourself. Move really gently. If you're someone who usually engages in more active forms of exercise, not that I'm saying don't, but here is a strong suggestion, heavy invitation, strong invitation to perhaps engage in, again, yoga, walking, tai chi, qigong, because there's a slowing down required so that you can really figure out the action that is going to be best for you as you move forward. I am so ready for this new moon energy. I think we all are. Remember to be gentle and kind with yourself as we transmute and transform lifetimes of energy. You signed up for this work and you have the strength to do it. Thank you so much. Good luck, and I will see you on the other side.